My child, stop for a moment. Do not move your finger. Do not scroll past this voice. I know how quickly your mind wants to move on. I know how easy it feels to say, I will listen later. But hear me now. This is not later. This is now. This is the moment that heaven has been waiting for, and the enemy has been trying to steal from you without you even noticing. I am speaking to you because I love you. Not because you searched for me, but because I searched for you. You did not find this by accident. You did not stumble here by chance. I placed this moment in your path because your heart is at a crossroads, even if you have not named it yet. The enemy wants you distracted, tired, numb, endlessly scrolling so you never stop long enough to hear my voice. But I am calling you by name right now. My child, open your heart or miss out. I do not say this to scare you, but to awaken you. There are moments that do not return in the same way twice. There are doors that open quietly, and if you are too busy looking elsewhere, you will walk past them without knowing what you lost. I am knocking gently, but urgently, because I see what is ahead of you, and I know what is at stake. I see you exactly where you are. I see the weight you carry when no one else is watching. I see the way you smile for others while your soul feels tired inside. I hear the prayers you whispered in the dark, the ones you thought never reached heaven. My child, every tear you cried mattered to me. Every night you felt alone, I was closer than your breath, even when you could not feel me. You have wondered if I forgot you. You have asked why answers seemed slow, why silence felt loud, why doors stayed closed even when you did everything you knew to do. Listen to me now. I have not been silent because I was absent. I have been shaping you, protecting you, and preparing you in ways you could not yet understand. This moment matters more than you know. You think life is made of big decisions, but eternity often turns on small moments of obedience. A pause, a yes, a willingness to listen when everything else is screaming for your attention. The enemy does not need to destroy you if he can simply delay you. He does not need you to reject me, only to keep saying later. Later feels safe, but later is where many blessings are buried. You feel it, don't you? That gentle tension in your spirit. That quiet pull telling you something needs to change. That restlessness that sleep cannot fix. That is me. I have been calling you, not with thunder, but with persistence. Not with force, but with love. Again and again, I have whispered, and still I whisper now. I know the pain that almost broke you. I was there when you felt betrayed by those you trusted. I was there when you lost what you prayed would stay. I was there when you questioned your worth and wondered if your life would ever become more than survival. My child, nothing you endured was wasted. I do not bring pain, but I redeem it. I do not abandon you in the fire, I walk with you through it. You were chosen before you knew me, before you failed, before you doubted, before you felt strong or weak. I formed you with intention, and I placed purpose inside you that cannot be destroyed by disappointment or delay. The world tried to name you by your mistakes, but I call you by your destiny. That is why the enemy fights your attention so fiercely. That is why peace has felt just out of reach. That is why comfort no longer satisfies you the way it once did. You were not created to drift. You were created to walk with me. So hear me now, my child. Do not harden your heart. Do not tell yourself this is for someone else. I am speaking to you. Right now. This is your moment, and I am inviting you to stay, to listen, and to trust me with what comes next. My child, I see you exactly where you are right now. Not where others think you are, not where you pretend to be, but where your heart truly stands. I see the tiredness that lives deep inside you, the kind that sleep does not fix. I see the weight you carry every day, even when you say you are fine. You have learned how to keep going while feeling empty, how to smile while your spirit feels worn down. I see all of it, and I have never once looked away from you. I know the fears you do not speak out loud. I know the thoughts that visit you late at night when everything becomes quiet and your mind grows loud. You wonder if you are enough. You wonder if your life will ever change. You wonder if the pain will ever ease. You wonder if I am still near. My child, I hear every question your heart whispers, even the ones you are afraid to ask. Come in Jesus. You are my safe place if you found comfort in His presence. I have seen you cry when no one else was around. I have seen the tears you wiped away quickly so others would not notice. I have seen the tears that fell into your pillow, the ones you felt ashamed of, the ones you thought made you weak. But hear me clearly now. Your tears are not a sign of weakness to me. They are prayers. Every tear you cried reached me. None of them were wasted. None of them were ignored. You have prayed in silence more times than you can count. You have spoken words without sound, hoping I could still hear you. You have asked me for help while feeling unsure if help would come. You have doubted me, doubted yourself, and doubted the future, and still I stayed. My child, I was never offended by your questions. I was never pushed away by your doubts. I am not frightened by your honesty. I welcome it. I know the battles you fight that no one sees. The inner battles that leave you exhausted before the day even begins. The fight to keep believing. The fight to keep hoping. The fight to keep showing up when you feel like giving up. Others see your strength, but they do not see the cost of it. I do. I see how hard you try. I see how much you endure. I see how often you choose to keep going when it would be easier to stop. There were moments you felt forgotten. Moments you felt overlooked. Moments when you watched others move forward while you felt stuck in the same place. You asked me why it seemed like I was blessing everyone else while you waited. My child, waiting is not forgetting. Silence is not absence. Delay is not rejection. I have never lost sight of you, not even for a second. Even when you could not feel me, I was near. Even when your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling and fell back down, I was listening. Even when you felt alone in a crowded room, I was beside you. My presence does not depend on your feelings. My love does not change with your circumstances. I am constant even when everything else feels uncertain. I know how loneliness has wrapped itself around your heart. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. You can be loved by many and still feel unknown. That kind of loneliness cuts deep, and I know how much it hurts. But my child, you have never been truly alone. I have been with you in every quiet moment, every long night, every heavy morning. When you sat in silence and felt numb, I was there. When you laughed with others but felt empty inside, I was there. When you questioned your purpose and wondered why you were even here, I was there. I have walked with you through moments you barely survived. I have carried you through days you thought would break you. Even when you felt like you were walking alone, I was holding you. I know the exhaustion you feel from being strong for so long. You learned early how to survive. You learned how to push your pain aside and keep moving. But I never asked you to carry everything by yourself. I never asked you to be strong without me. My child, you are allowed to rest in my presence. You are allowed to let your guard down with me. You do not have to pretend here. I see the places where your heart feels wounded, the trust that was broken, the words that stayed with you longer than they should have, the moments that changed you in ways you never expected. I know how those experiences shape your fears and your walls, but I also know how they shaped your compassion, your depth, and your quiet strength. Nothing in your life has escaped my sight. There were times you felt small and unimportant. Times you believed your life did not matter much in the bigger picture. But my child, if you could see yourself through my eyes, you would understand how precious you are. You are not a background voice. You are not an afterthought. You are not replaceable. I formed you with care, and I know you completely. I know the prayers you stopped praying because you felt tired of waiting. I know the hopes you buried because it hurt too much to keep believing. I know the dreams you told yourself were unrealistic. I know the faith that feels fragile right now. I do not condemn you for any of it. I draw closer to you in it. When you felt like giving up, I was strengthening you in ways you could not see. When you thought nothing was happening, I was working quietly. When you felt overlooked, I was protecting you. I have been shaping your heart, teaching you endurance, deepening your trust, even through the pain. Please support our channel. Our work is meant to bring happiness into your life and inspire devotion to God. If you wish to support us, you can donate through Super Thanks. My child, you are not invisible to me. I know your name. I know your story. I know your beginning, your middle, and your future. I know the version of you that exists behind closed doors. I know the version of you that doubts and hopes at the same time. And I love you fully, without conditions. You do not have to earn my attention. You already have it. You do not have to prove your worth. You already are worthy. You do not have to be perfect to be loved. My love meets you where you are, not where you think you should be. Even now, as you listen to my voice, I am close. I am not speaking to you from far away. I am here with you. I am near your heart. I am aware of every feeling rising within you. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself be seen. Let yourself be held by the truth that you are known and deeply loved. You may feel tired, confused, or unsure, but you are not abandoned. You may feel weak, but you are not alone. You may feel forgotten, but I have never forgotten you. I see you where you are, and I am walking with you, step by step, even now. My child, listen closely to me now, because this moment matters more than you realize. You may think this is just another minute in your day, just another voice among many, just another message passing by. But heaven does not see moments the way you do. I do not speak without purpose, and I do not interrupt your life without reason. This moment was chosen, shaped, and placed before you with care. It is not random. It is not late. It is not early. It is right on time. Divine timing is not rushed, but it is precise. I see the whole path, not just the step you are standing on. I know when your heart is ready, even when your mind feels unsure. I know when your spirit can hear what your ears have heard many times before but never truly received. There are seasons when I prepare you quietly, and there are moments when I ask you to respond. This is one of those moments. Preparation has been happening longer, and you know, and now I'm calling you to pay attention. You have learned to wait, but sometimes waiting turns into delay. You tell yourself you will change later, trust later, obey later, listen later. Later feels safe because it asks nothing of you right now. But my child, later can become a place where good things slowly fade. Not because I stopped offering them, but because hesitation built a wall where trust should have been. I want you to understand something gently and clearly. Many people do not lose what I have for them because of great sin. They lose it because of small delays. A quiet no disguised as a maybe. A calling postponed until it feels more convenient. A nudge ignored because it felt uncomfortable. Obedience delayed is still disobedience, not because I am harsh, but because timing matters. Here are doors in the spirit that open only in certain moments. Not because I am unfair, but because each moment carries a grace meant for that time. When you hesitate too long, that grace passes, and the door closes softly. Another door may open later, but it will not be the same one. Some things are only offered once in a certain form, at a certain time, when your heart is standing at a crossing point. The enemy understands this very well. That is why he does not always try to make you walk away from me. He simply tries to make you wait. He fills your mind with noise so you cannot hear my whisper. He fills your hands with endless scrolling so your heart never settles long enough to listen. He tells you this can wait, that nothing will change if you ignore this moment. But my child, much can change and much can be lost, not loudly but quietly. Scrolling past destiny does not feel dramatic. There is no thunder. There is no warning sign. Life simply continues, but something inside grows dull. The hunger fades. The sensitivity weakens. What once stirred your heart begins to feel distant. You tell yourself you will feel it again someday, but you do not realize that this moment carried a unique invitation meant just for now. Heaven often moves in moments, not lifetimes. I do not always shout. I do not always repeat the same call in the same way. I am patient, yes, but I am also purposeful. When I speak because there is an opening. When I call, it is because the door is unlocked. When I invite you, it is because the timing is right. You may think you need more strength, more clarity, more certainty before you say yes. But my child, obedience often comes before understanding. Trust often comes before clarity. The strength you are waiting for is released when you move, not before. If you wait until you feel ready, you may never move at all. I have watched many hearts drift, not because they stopped loving me, but because they stopped responding. They heard me once, twice, many times, and each time they delayed just a little longer. Over time, the voice grew quieter, not because I left, but because they trained their heart not to answer. I do not want that for you. That is why I am speaking with urgency now. This moment matters because your heart is tender right now. You feel the stirring. You feel the pull. You feel the quiet awareness that something is being asked of you. That awareness is a gift. It does not last forever in the same way. When it comes, it is meant to be honored, not postponed. I am not asking you to have everything figured out. I am asking you to be willing. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to trust me more than your fear. I am not asking you to leap blindly. I am asking you to take the next step with me. Every great change in your life begins with a moment like this. Not loud, not dramatic, but sacred. A pause, a choice, a quiet yes inside your heart. You do not see the full road yet, but you do not mean to. You only need to stay present with me now. If you let this moment pass, life will still go on. You will still wake up, still work, still laugh, still survive. But something deeper may remain undone. A layer of purpose, a level of peace, a closeness with me that grows only when you respond. That is the cost of hesitation. Not punishment, but distance. Not loss of love, but loss of depth. I am not saying this to pressure you. I am saying it because I love you too much to let you drift unaware. I see what is possible for you. I see what is ready to begin. I see how one moment of obedience can shift your path in ways you cannot imagine yet. So stay here with me. Do not rush away. Do not silence this voice. Let this moment matter. Heaven is leaning close right now. The door is open, and I am inviting you to step forward with me while the grace for this moment is still flowing. My child, I want you to understand what has been working against you, not so you become afraid, but so you become aware. The enemy does not always come with chaos and darkness the way you imagine. Often he comes quietly, dressed as comfort, distraction, and delay. He does not need to pull you far away from me. He only needs to keep you from paying attention. Distraction is one of his favorite tools. Not because it is loud, but because it feels harmless. A busy mind, a full schedule, endless noise, endless content, endless thoughts pulling you in every direction. None of it feels evil. None of it feels dangerous. And that is exactly why it works. When your heart is never still, it becomes harder to hear my voice. When your attention is scattered, your spirit grows tired without knowing why. Say amen. You lifted my spirit if he's given you joy when you felt empty. You wake up and reach for your phone before you reach for peace. You fill quiet moments with sound so you do not have to feel what is inside. You move from one thing to the next, telling yourself you will slow down later. And slowly, without realizing it, your soul forgets how to rest in me. This is not an accident. It is strategy. Fear is another weapon he uses against you. Not loud fear, but subtle fear. Fear of failing. Fear of being disappointed again. Fear of trusting and getting hurt. Fear of letting go of what feels familiar. Fear tells you to stay where you are even if where you are is draining you. Fear tells you it is safer not to move, not to hope too much, not to believe too deeply. Doubt walks closely with fear. Doubt whispers questions that sound reasonable. What if this is not really me? What if nothing changes? What if you are misunderstood? What if you are not strong enough? Doubt does not always deny me directly. Sometimes it simply makes you unsure enough to hesitate. And hesitation is all the enemy needs. Comfort is one of the most dangerous tools he uses because it feels like peace, but it is not the same. Comfort says, stay where you are. Do not risk. Do not stretch. Do not change. Comfort tells you that surviving is enough, even when I have called you to live fully. Comfort dulls your hunger for more of me. It softens your urgency. It convinces you that waiting forever is wisdom. Noise surrounds you constantly. Voices telling you who to be, what to want, how to feel. Opinions, comparisons, arguments, entertainment, worries. Noise keeps your heart from settling. It fills the space where my voice wants to speak. When everything is loud, the still, small voice becomes easier to ignore. And then there is the most powerful whisper of all. Later. The enemy loves the word later. Later sounds responsible. Later sounds calm. Later sounds wise. Later tells you there is no rush. Later tells you nothing will be lost if you wait. Later tells you this moment is not that important. But my child, later is where many hearts slowly drift away from purpose. Later is how prayers fade. Later is how callings grow quiet. Later is how sensitivity to my voice weakens over time. Not because I stop speaking, but because the heart learns not to respond. Each time you delay, it becomes a little easier to delay again. Each time you ignore a nudge, the nudge feels a little softer next time. You may feel something inside you resisting this message right now. A restlessness, a discomfort, a desire to stop listening. That resistance is not because this message is wrong. It's because it is touching something real. The enemy does not fight what has no power. He resists what threatens his hold. Part of you wants to stay, and part of you wants to escape. That inner conflict is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that truth is reaching deep places. Lies grow uncomfortable when light enters. Chains rattle when freedom is near. The enemy has told you lies about me. He has told you that I am distant, demanding, or disappointed in you. He has told you that you need to fix yourself before coming closer. He has told you that you have already missed your chance. He has told you that your past disqualifies you. None of this is true. Hear my truth now. I am not distant. I am near. I am not waiting for you to become perfect. I meet you where you are. You have not missed your chance. You are still breathing, and that means my mercy is still active. Your past does not disqualify you. It prepares you to know my grace more deeply. The enemy tells you that change will cost you too much. I tell you that staying the same will cost you more. He tells you that obedience will trap you. I tell you that obedience will free you. He tells you that surrender means losing yourself. I tell you that surrender is how you finally find yourself. He wants you tired so you will not fight. He wants you busy so you will not listen. He wants you comfortable so you will not move. He wants you afraid so you will not trust. But I want you aware. I want you away. I want you anchored in truth. You do not need to fear the enemy when you walk with me. Awareness breaks his power. Truth exposes his lies. Light scatters darkness without effort. You are not helpless. You are not alone. I have already overcome everything that comes against you. When you feel pulled to delay, remember this. I am not asking you to run ahead of me. I am asking you to walk with me now. When you feel afraid, remember that I am with you. When doubt whispers, remember that my voice carries peace, not confusion. When comfort tries to keep you still, remember that growth often begins where comfort ends. This message is not meant to condemn you. It is meant to free you. I am showing you the strategy so you can stop blaming yourself for feeling tired, scattered, or stuck. You are not broken. You have been under pressure. And now, I am calling you to step into clarity. Stay with me. Stay present. Do not let distractions steal this moment. Do not let fear decide for you. Do not let later silence what is being spoken now. I am here, speaking truth over you, breaking lies with love, and guiding you into freedom, one honest step at a time. My child, I have been calling you for a long time. Not only now, not only today. My voice has been near you in more moments than you realize. I have spoken to you in ways that felt small at the time, easy to dismiss, simple to ignore. The thought that returned again and again. A quiet feeling in your heart. A gentle pull toward something you did not fully understand. I was there, calling softly, patiently, faithfully. There were moments when you felt stirred for no clear reason. Moments when something inside you said, "Pay attention," but life felt too busy. You told yourself you would think about it later. You moved on. You distracted yourself. You did not mean to ignore me. You were just tired, just overwhelmed, just trying to survive. I understand that, my child. I am not angry with you. I remember the times you felt drawn to pray, but chose sleep instead. The times you felt led to forgive, but held on to the hurt a little longer. The times you felt a nudge to change direction, but stayed where you were because it felt safer. I remember the times you sensed my presence, but doubted it was really me. I remember it all, and still I stayed. Hear me clearly now. I do not recount these moments to shame you. I do not bring them up to condemn you. I bring them up because they matter, and because you matter. I am not a God who gives up easily. I am patient beyond what you can imagine. My love does not grow tired the way human love does. My calling does not fade because of delay. Each time you ignored my voice, I did not turn away. I did not cross your name off a list. I did not withdraw my love. I waited. I watched. I stayed near. My patience is not weakness. It is mercy. It is long-suffering love that refuses to abandon what it treasures. There were times I spoke to you through peace that did not make sense. Times I spoke through discomfort that would not go away. Times I spoke through people, through words, through moments that lingered in your heart longer than they should have. You felt it, even if you did not understand it. That was me. Sometimes you heard me, but you did not listen. There is a difference, my child, and it is important. Hearing is noticing sound. Listening is opening your heart. Hearing my voice does not change you if you do not respond. Listening means you allow what I say to shape your choices, your direction, your trust. You have heard me many times, but listening requires surrender, and surrender feels costly. Listening asks you to slow down, to let go, to face things you have avoided. So you told yourself you heard me, and that was enough. But I was inviting you deeper. I know you did not ignore me out of rebellion. You ignored me out of fear, out of confusion, out of weariness. Sometimes you were afraid of what obedience might require. Sometimes you were afraid of being disappointed again. Sometimes you were afraid you would fail if you tried. I saw all of it, and I never stopped loving you. My child, I am gentle with you. I correct because I care, not because I am harsh. When I point something out, it is not to accuse you, but to awaken you. I do not raise my voice to punish. I lower my voice to draw you closer. I want you to know this truth deeply. Every time you ignored my call, I still made room for you to return. Every time you delayed, I still waited with open arms. My patience is not endless permission to stay the same, but it is proof that my love is not fragile. You may think you failed me too many times. You may think you missed too many chances. But I am not counting the way you count. I am not measuring you by your weakest moments. I am measuring you by my grace. And my grace is greater than your delays. Still, I speak to you honestly, because love speaks truth. There is a cost to ignoring my voice. Not the loss of my love, but the loss of closeness. Not the loss of salvation, but the loss of peace. Each time you hear and do not listen, your heart grows a little less sensitive. Not because I harden it, but because you train it not to respond. That is why I am calling you again now, with clarity and urgency wrapped in gentleness. I do not want you to live a life where my voice becomes background noise. I do not want you to settle for knowing about me without walking closely with me. I want you to listen, not just hear. Listening means you pause when I speak. Listening means you trust me even when you do not understand the outcome. Listening means you respond with obedience, even if your voice shakes and your hands tremble. Listening means you believe that I am good, even when the path feels uncertain. You may be afraid that listening now means facing regret for not listening before. But hear me. There is no condemnation waiting for you here. Only truth. Only love. Only an invitation to begin again, with greater awareness and deeper trust. I am not rushing you, but I am calling you forward. I am not angry, but I am serious about your life. I see the potential within you that is still waiting to rise. I see the closeness we have not yet fully shared. I see the peace you have not yet fully tasted. My child, I have been calling you because I want relationship, not distance. I want conversation, not silence. I want obedience that flows from love, not fear. I want you to know that when you listen, you are not stepping into loss. You are stepping into life. So stay with me now. Do not replay your past in shame. Do not tell yourself it is too late. Let this be the moment where hearing becomes listening. Let this be the moment where delay gives way to trust. I am still here. I am still speaking. And I am still calling you with the same love I have always had for you. My child, before you ever knew my name, I knew yours. Before you formed a thought about me, I had already formed you. You were not discovered by me later in life. You were chosen long before your first breath. Your story did not begin with your mistakes, your pain, or your confusion. It began with intention, with love, with purpose written into you before the world ever touched you. You did not become valuable when you started believing. You did not become chosen when you started trying harder. You did not earn your place with me through effort or suffering. You were chosen first. Belief came later. Growth came later. Healing came later. But my choice came before all of it. I want you to let this truth settle deep inside you. Your identity is not something you build. It is something you receive. You are not who the world says you are. You are not who your past says you are. You are not who your pain tried to convince you that you are. You are who I say you are. And I have always called you mine. I see how often you have tried to figure yourself out by looking at your failures. You look back and ask where things went wrong. You define yourself by what did not work. I who left, I what you lost, I what hurt you. Right, amen. I'm holding on to your promise if you know His word never fails, and share this video.